Hey guys, today I'm going to show you how I clean my horn. Okay, so these are the materials that I use. So first I'm going to talk about what I use for the bath. So I use dish soap. You guys should all use dish soap. It's just your normal dishwashing soap stuff. And I use a sponge, two-sided. Make sure you're being careful with the abrasive side because you could scratch up your horn like that. And also a snake. A snake gets the insides of the horn to clean. And then for after, I have this ShamWow towel because it actually works and it's a pretty good towel to dry off your horn. This one to get the little bits of water off. And also after that to get my horn properly lubed up after. So I would recommend using actual slide grease, and I have some Velvo right here. Okay, so first things first, I'm going to take apart my instrument, and I'm going to do that very carefully, and I'm going to show you how to do it, okay? So whenever I take out any slides or anything, I depress the corresponding valve, and simply that means just press down all the valves whenever you take out any slides. So I'm going to take out my slides first. Slide 1, put that to the side. Slide 2, to the side. Main, put that to the side. And the third, put that to the side. So that's all my slides out. And now all I have to do is take apart my valves and I'll be ready to put this in the bath. Put it to the side. And you can, if you didn't catch that, there was some felt on there, on my slide, or on my valve, right there. And I'm going to want to take that off so that it doesn't get wet and I can have my felt last longer. Valve 2. Valve 1. And then all the springs. And then finally the bottom caps. Okay, so now that I have my valve, I'm going to try to take apart the valve so I can take off this felt right here. So I'm just going to take off the top cap, this too, and there's a felt. And also I'm going to take off this so I can get the threads all washed up. And this is the guide and the washer. Don't get any of these parts mixed up, okay? They should all stay with the right valve. Okay, so this is a totally disassembled valve. Here's the actual valve. Here's a stem. The top finger button. The washer, the guide, and all these parts should stay corresponding to their valve. So this is all valve 1, valve 2, valve 3. And the only things going into the bath are these things. These things right here. All the rest doesn't need to be washed and it shouldn't be washed. Actually, these two. These get washed. Okay, so this is the bath. All it is lukewarm water and some of the dish soap. So you'd want it to be lukewarm because you could take off your lacquer and you really don't want to do that. Okay, so I put everything in the bath and I'm going to let it soak for about 20 minutes. And that makes sure that all the soap gets into all the soot, grease, any other type of nasty stuff you have in there. And it'll make it easier to clean later. So we're going to let this soak, and we'll come back to it. Okay, so after it's soaked, all I'm going to do is take my snake and I'm going to clean the insides. Clean the insides with the snake, making sure I get all that gunk out. And after that's done, I'm going to get the sponge, and I'm going to use only the soft side to get all the grease and everything off of the slides, outside, and the outside of the horn. Are you recording this? Yeah, valves are pretty important. Don't want to mess these up. Okay, so once I've got everything all snaked out, I'm going to take my sponge and I'm going to clean the outside of these to get all the grease off. And I'm also going to get the outside of my horn so I can get all the grease off of this. Yeah, always use the soft side because you don't want to scratch anything. Yeah, you gotta make sure you're using the soft side, especially with the valves. Yeah, I'm trying to get off all the grease from when people hold it without gloves, and also just from built up residue of other things. Try to get in every nook and cranny. Be way better if it's cleaner.
Go.
Okay, so after I've drained the tub, I put all the works and everything, all the other parts to the side to rinse somewhere else on the sink. And I'm gonna get this cup and I'm just gonna pour some water in, faucet, and I get the outside first and the inside and then the outside. Make sure all the soap is rinsed off. Just trying to get water in all of the parts, all the valves and slides. And I'll try to get the outside of this side and the inside of the belt too. Okay, so while we're doing this, we're going to have our horn air drying for a little bit on the side. So now I'm just going to rinse off my slides. Try to get all the soap off on the outside and the inside. Okay, so after I've dried it off with this one, I've gotten all my slides here, and I'm going to put the slides on first before the valves, and I'm gonna get my Vaseline. I'm gonna put some Vaseline on liberally, but not a lot, if there's a distinction between that. So a little bit on one side, a little bit on the other. I'm going to try to spread it around as even as possible. Same thing on this side. And work one side at a time. And then once that's done, put them both. And now my slides are done. You might have a little bit of residue, so that's not a big deal, just wipe it up. Okay, so once I've gotten all the slides in, I'm going to put my valve back together, and I'm going to put it onto here, and then properly get it ready to play for tomorrow. Okay, so I'm going to start by putting a little bit of Vaseline on here, this Q-tip. Just a little bit. Try to get into the threads. Put it into here. And your stem should be able to come off If it doesn't, then you'll have to talk to me about it, about how to take it off safely. So now with that on, put the felt back on. Forgot a step. You need the guide. Yeah, talk to me about putting stuff back on safely. Make sure you have the correct guide, correct valve. Make sure this little part right here, this little nub, goes into the corresponding hole. Should pop right in. Washer on top. And then screw the stem in. Now we're ready to put the felt back on. And put a little bit of grease on the threads of the button. Okay. And then put it onto the top of the valve. Actually, forgot your top cap. Gosh, I'm forgetting everything. Okay, so your top cap, you should put some slide grease or Vaseline on the threads of this too, so you can open up your valve for valve oil more easily. Just put it right in there, in the threads. And you'll see that there's still a little bit of nasty stuff on here. I couldn't get it all off in the bath. But at least it'll be working well. Let's put that on. Put the button on. And there's your valve. So now, get your bottom cap, put some grease on it. Okay, make sure it gets into the threads, and put it back onto the bottom of your valve. And this will, putting grease on will make sure that it'll come off easily the next time you need to give it a bath, or if you ever need to have any work done to it, so no harsh things come to it. So when I put my valve back on, make sure it's all clean, nothing on the valve. Try to make sure there's no debris on it. Get my valve oil, put a little bit on, into the valve casing. Get it around there. And then put it in the guide. Then you take it back out, just to make sure that you get it all in there. Get the spring, put it in there, valve in the casing, screw on the top cap, and then that's part ready to go. Now just repeat that with every other one, and your horn's going to be put back together, ready to go. Okay, so I know it's a process. I know it's a really lengthy process.